Making me choose between Osaka and Tokyo is like making me choose between my two children. Now, I don't have any human children of my own. Let me make that abundantly clear. But the point is, I just really love these two cities. They're perfect. They're so different from each other, and yet they both share all of the qualities that make Japan such a great place to live and visit. I'm lucky to have spent the last couple of months exploring them, and while Tokyo has so many things that will forever make it special to me, I think that many first-time visitors would actually benefit by choosing to spend more time in Osaka than in Tokyo. This might be a hot take, I know, but just hear me out. My name is Josh. I am a digital nomad who lives in a new country every month, and I've got 5 reasons for you as to why Osaka is a better city for first-time visitors than Tokyo. You will absolutely want to consider all 5 of these things before making your travel plans, so be sure to stick with me to the end so that you can make the best possible decision for your travel itinerary. This first reason seems so obvious that I'm surprised more people aren't talking about it. Geography, logistics, proximity, call it whatever you want, but the truth of the matter is that Osaka is surrounded by incredible cities and locations, all of which make it the perfect base for the rest of your time in Japan. Besides just being an incredible city to explore on its own, which I'll talk more about in just a little bit, you can very easily travel from Osaka to Kyoto. In fact, on the bullet train, you can move between these two cities in just about 15 minutes. Kyoto is one of the most beautiful and historical places in all of Japan. If you go to Japan and you miss Kyoto, you're making a mistake. It is that place that you're seeing in everyone's Japan photo montages on Instagram. The place with the long rows of Shinto shrines, that's Kyoto. The place with the bamboo forest, also Kyoto. This gorgeous back alleyway decorated with old style Japanese decor, Kyoto, okay? You get it. Besides Kyoto, you also have easy access from Osaka to Nara, which is the home of the world famous bowing deer. Offer them a cracker and they will bow to you. It's very cute. And like Kyoto, Nara is very easy to get to from Osaka. In fact, you can take Osaka's regular metro system and it will drop you off from the city center right at Nara Park. And if those two things aren't enough, you can also take a day trip from Osaka over to Hiroshima. It is a bit longer of a distance, it'll take about an hour and a half on the bullet train, but the fact that you can absolutely make Hiroshima a day trip from Osaka absolutely blows my mind. Hiroshima is of course most famous for being the site where the first ever atomic bomb was dropped. But they also have incredible food, such as okonomiyaki, which is a must try if you're in this part of Japan. And it's also totally different from Osaka's okonomiyaki, but more on food in just a little bit. By itself, between just these places alone, you have more than enough for a first trip to Japan. Most people that I've talked to leave Japan wishing that they had spent more time in Osaka and Kyoto, so be sure to take that into consideration. Tokyo has the most Michelin-starred restaurants in the world. The whole world. And yet, the second reason that Osaka is better than Tokyo, the food. The food is better in Osaka. Yeah, I said it. And to be honest, I think that most people who have been to Osaka would agree. See, Tokyo might have better high-class food, but if we're talking food for the everyman here, like street food or ramen or conveyor belt sushi, Osaka is easily the best place to go. Osaka is known as the kitchen of Japan, and they take their food-based identity very seriously. Or maybe very unseriously. Take a walk through the famous DOTONBORI district, and you will see huge displays of famous food chains all over. From enormous king crabs to pieces of sushi to these caricatures of chefs. It is all very comic and blue collar, and it's perfect. Anything that you eat is gonna be good, but highlights for me included a visit to MAWARU GENROKU Sushi, which is actually the place where conveyor belt sushi was invented. If you haven't done conveyor belt sushi before, the prices are always really fantastic, the food is great, it's not such a highbrow experience like some sushi places in Japan tend to be, and best of all, the whole conveyor belt situation makes it kind of fun. Just quickly reaching and grabbing one of the plates of sushi before it gets away. I don't know, it's fun to do. Another spot I really loved was Ramen KIOU Dotonbori. I've eaten a lot of ramen in Japan. I'm not afraid to say it, but this is the best that I have had anywhere. They're known for their spicy pork ramen, and both the texture and the flavor of the broth is just out of this world. The lines at both of these places can get kind of long. Boop. The lines at both of these places can get kind of long, but the tradition at places like these, especially at ramen shops, is to go in, sit down, eat your meal, and then leave. So the lines move pretty quick. Lastly, over in the Shinsekai district, which is where you'll find the famous Shutenkaku Tower, I grabbed some of Osaka's version of okonomiyaki. There are two versions of okonomiyaki, the Osaka version and the Hiroshima version. Both versions typically include some kind of egg and meat along with some sauce and mayo. However, the Osaka version acts almost like a frittata, where the egg is cooked with the ingredients inside. In Hiroshima, noodles get involved, and the egg sort of acts more like a congealing base. Both are delicious, and the best part is that you don't have to decide, because when you stay in Osaka, you can access both cities without much difficulty. All of this is truly just scratching the surface. Food across the board in Osaka is top notch. I didn't even mention takoyaki, because I personally don't really like takoyaki. But forget me, you should give it a try as well. It's this fried octopus dish, and to be honest, it is like Osaka's most famous street food, and I don't like it. But it's not even just the food and the location that puts Osaka ahead of Tokyo. This next reason might be the most important reason for a lot of people. Alright, I'm gonna keep this section short because honestly, it's pretty self-explanatory. That said, I really think that this might sway a lot of people. It's the price. Osaka is simply cheaper than Tokyo. Now, I will say that this particular reason applies more so to lodging than anything else. Tokyo hotels and Airbnbs can get pretty pricey. Tokyo is the biggest city in the world, and it is one of the most popular tourist destinations to boot. And so yeah, hotel owners absolutely take advantage of that. Add in the fact that the yen is still quite weak at the time of recording, and your money can go pretty far in Osaka. Price comparisons like this can be a little tough, but some estimates say that Osaka tends to be somewhere between 10 and 20% cheaper than Tokyo. Look, it's your money. It's worth considering. Okay, so if you didn't know, I lived in New York City for 12 years. 12 years, okay? Compared to New York City, literally every Japanese person that I have met has been comparatively very friendly. New York City is brutal. New York. No. However, in Osaka, the people do tend to be a bit friendlier than the people in Tokyo. This will, of course, vary on a case-by-case basis, as every person is different and unique. However, in my experience, the people in Osaka are a little bit more interested in stopping to help the foreigner who needs directions, and they're sort of just a little bit more laid back in general. I don't know exactly why this is, but it does make sense when you consider how many major corporations are based out of Tokyo. Similarly to New York City, there are a whole lot of people who need to get a whole lot of places right now. Osaka also takes a lot of pride in the fact that they produce a large number of Japan's comedians. They have a great sense of humor in Osaka, and there generally does seem to be a bit more lightness to the people there. I experienced this firsthand when I took a walking tour of Osaka. Beyond just experiencing so many of Osaka's amazing sights, the tour guide also was really just having a lot of fun and joking with all of the guests. It's not a competition, but I'm pretty sure that I was his favorite guest. It's important to me that I'm the tour guide's favorite because of my crippling need to be loved by everybody I ever meet. The final reason that Osaka is better to visit than Tokyo, and for me this is actually the most important reason, its character, its charm, its personality. So something that I found in my travels is that sometimes these huge cities, these capital cities, can be so big, so large, so all-encompassing that they don't really feel like they have a specific personality. Like, it can be hard to define them at times. I love Tokyo so much, but admittedly sometimes it can be hard to tell someone why. I don't struggle to explain what I like about Osaka. The streets have so much personality. They're so colorful and full of life and have such a unique feel to them. Truly, it feels so specific and so unlike anything else in all of Japan. And then, of course, that lightness, that levity, contrasts so beautifully with the seriousness and historical importance of visiting places like Osaka Castle. When you go, you have the chance to experience Japan's history firsthand, as the initial version of this castle was built back in 1583 and then rebuilt several times over the years. But then, of course, as you're leaving the castle, right outside, there are performers and buskers and comedians reminding you of the city you're in typical Osaka fashion. Basically, to put it simply, I get Osaka. I feel its character and its personality and charm and the charm of its people every time I visit. Look, I recognize that I'm the only one saying this, but I feel like if you can make it work logistically, that you will have a more enjoyable time in Japan, regardless of the length of your itinerary, if you allocate more time to Osaka and traveling out to its surrounding cities. If you are interested in hearing more about the other places that I mentioned in this video, including Tokyo, Kyoto, Hiroshima, Nara, and more, be sure that you like and subscribe so that you see those videos as well as soon as they drop. I can't wait to chat more with you soon. My name is Josh, and I love you for watching. Also watch this one.